Hello there guys, and welcome back to another 852 tutorial. In this episode we're going to continue working on Dodge Demon here. First of all, just want to say thanks to those who came to the live stream over the weekend. That was pretty cool. I don't know how far in advance that was compared to this video, but it was nice to chat to you all there. I will be doing some live streams probably most Sundays, making the Porsche RWB 965. We'll see how we go with those. Today though, let's continue working through our Demon here. So we managed to get through the side skirt, I think was the last episode. And now what we're going to do is we're going to work our way around the rear of the model and start putting some details in back here. We started on the diffuser before, merged it, well we haven't merged it yet, but we could merge it with the bumper here. So we'll maybe start around this area. I think we got the glass done in the previous episode as well. So we're looking quite good for the most part. I think what we're going to do first is let's think about maybe this rear portion here where the actual tail lights are. We also have a spoiler that needs to go along the back, kind of like a little duckbill spoiler at the back there. So let's make a start. I think this here, let's just check our top view. Let's maybe curve this along a little bit better there. So it looks like it's not going to be too complex. We've got an image here. We can see that it's completely a whole new section that's going to go inside there. We do have an additional crease that we need to consider. We've got some extra lights and things in the rear as well. So we'll just work through these fairly systematically. So let's start then think about this middle section. I'm going to go into my back view here and let's have a think. So I want to be careful when I'm dragging, because I don't want to drag and select these vertices here, because we can see that I'm selecting the ones in front. So I'm going to make use of the multiple views here. Does look like we're kind of coming to a point there which we don't want. Let's grab both of these and bring these down. It looks like I'm doing that for that whole portion, so let's grab all of those and just bring them down ever so slightly, so that's matched a little bit better. So now we want to think about that interior section, so let's have a look. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, so we've got 4 faces, 4 edges that kind of line up here. What we could actually do first is let's maybe think about what's going on down here, because that could add some additional geometry which will help us mirror what we have up there. For example, we have what looks like some rear lights, maybe the fog lights at the bottom, the rear fogs, which could maybe help give us 2 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, add 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that will actually bring us perfect inside there. Before we do, I'm going to grab these 2 pieces here and I'm going to want to combine them together, because this diffuser actually runs all the way down the side here. So let's just combine those, and then I'm going to grab all the vertices that are kind of on the perimeter of these pieces here, and I'm just going to edit mesh and merge those. Let's just do a test. If I just click, we can see that that's nice and attached now, which is good. So what we want to actually do is, let's jump back in our rear view real quick. See, so we do kind of have those lights on here, which is good. I'm going to maybe adjust what we have up here. Looks like maybe I grabbed the wrong bits to merge there, so let's go here, merge all those real quick. Okay, that's better. So let's maybe move these out a little bit along here, just to make a bit more space for what we have inside there. And then I'm just going to pull all of these in so that they're a bit more of a reflection of the kind of orientation that we have over here. something like that. And we're still looking okay on the top. Yeah, we're still looking okay over there, so that's good. That should allow us now to add 2 more lines going through here. So I'm going to insert an edge loop. I'll drop one about here and here. That's just going to allow us to help better shape that little light that we have inside there. We're not looking too bad up here. We could maybe, let's actually undo that. I'm going to draw in some vertices here, and I'm going to draw in, I'm going to click, and I'm just going to hit enter, and then click over here and hit enter. So now what I've got is, I've got 2 vertices just there. And now I'm going to go to my insert edge loop, and I'm going to drop them a little bit better spaced at the top. And I'm just going to use these just to make sure that we've got a little bit more curvature around there. Actually, apologies, I'm just going to delete these lines, because what we might want to do is we might want to actually run an additional line down here, because we can see that we have a bit more of an exaggerated corner there, and then that will line up with one of the smaller edges up here. So what we could actually do is we could add just the one loop in this middle, in between those, and then this one can taper off into the 2, like so. And then here we can bring these down into where the exhaust pipes sit. Something like that. And then we can start to think about maybe that curvature there. Let's pull those up just a little bit. So that's looking quite nice. So then that should allow us to drop an edge loop down here. Something like that. Because we know that this wants to come much further out there. Okay. And then let's see, with that edge, let's just trying to compare what we have on our blueprints here. What we could maybe do with this is try to form the shape, so this kind of flows up and around here. Something like that. Okay. And then in our perspective view here, let's just make sure that's all looking okay. Let's grab these again. Get a bit more additional curvature to that portion. And then just pull these out just to make sure they're kind of matching along there. So that's looking pretty good inside there. Okay, happy enough with that for now. So that should now help us kind of flow into this top section here. So we've got the matching amount, so let's maybe grab all these edges here. Okay, so I'm going to hit Control E on these, and I'm gonna pull on this green arrow ever so slightly. Something like that. Looks okay. Before we continue, let's just double check. Side view's looking okay. I think maybe what we'll want here is something a little bit smoother. Something like that. Let's have a go at pulling these edges too. On the same orientation, about the same amount. Which is fine. Now let's go again. We'll use our rear view here to kind of help us out. So we're going to want to go into about what looks like this line here. So again, I'm going to take that in on the green. I'm going to go to about this point. We'll need to move those around a little bit. But I'm going to bring these in. Something like that. Yeah, something like that looks fine. You can see here that we've got a line that's going to align nicely there, and then the same there as well. So I'm going to bring that in. I will now use this opportunity to pull all these points into a slightly better position. It looks like we go quite far down here. It's quite hard when you have a blueprint that's so low quality. Something like that. So you can start to see that kind of dynamic that we've got going in the way there. Let's do the top. So again, we'll put that down here roughly to match. And we're going to want to take that in about the same. Something like that. And again, we'll use this opportunity now to get all these positioned in the right spot. Okay. So that's looking pretty good. So now we have like an extra little shape that inside here. Before we do that, let's grab the vertices here. I'm going to hold V, and I'm just going to snap them to their kind of sister component within there. From the side view, it looks like these do something like this. They get deeper as they get further towards the top there. Okay, so it looks like we now need to go in again. So let's grab these edges. I'm going to hit Control E. So it looks like this time we want to go in but be fairly flat. So I'm going to use the world here and something like that, fairly thin. We want to hit Control E again, and it looks like with these ones we want to come out, and again just scale in ever so slightly. Something like that. We can refine that again afterwards. And I'm going to hit Control E again, and it looks like this is going to become the main kind of rear section. So let's actually not Control E again, let's keep that just there. Okay, so we've gone flat and then we've come up. That's fine. So we're just going to want to do the same on these edges here. So I'm going to hit Control E. Looks like I'm selecting both, which we don't want. So we're going to hit Control E and we're going to want to match that first section that we have there. So that's not too far off. Something like that. And we'll hit Control E again. And we're just going to match that next one. Something like that. Sweet. So again, let's grab these vertices. It would obviously be a lot easier if it was all merged together, but I'm not too keen on doing that just yet. Because I don't want this to be one whole complete unit just yet, whilst I'm working around the back, so that's okay. So now with these portions here, let's go back to our review again. So it looks like you can't really see on here, but there is like a second droop down. All the pixels have kind of merged. So in order to select that, we're going to want to grab just here, I think. We'll probably want to actually, rather than grab there, let's actually take the vertices and just move them over here. Let's maybe grab just these ones, and we'll just move those over ever so slightly, something like that. And then we'll grab this here and maybe extrude down, something like that. And then move that along there. Okay, so now let's go again. This is obviously a lot of extrusions in a very small space, but we'll grab these again and we'll hit Control E. And let's go and extrude one last time, something like that, because this is going to be the next bit that connects kind of in here will be the tail lights. I'm going to extrude again, and this time we're going to go down like so, and then it will be a case that I believe just this bit will be kind of like the last extrusion. We'll go down something like that. So just want this portion here to match, so we're going to grab these edges one last time. I'm going to hit Control E, and we're going to come out the way and scale in just to get as close to that line as possible, and then hit Control E one last time and scale those something like that. Looks pretty good. And I'll bring that down here. Okay, so this is where it gets a little bit weird because we have an additional extrusion at that lower section. It looks like, or is it just my image that looks a bit weird? Okay, so that's just my image that looks a little bit weird, so that's fine. So I'm going to grab these vertices here, and because of the extrusions, obviously they're going to look a bit weird, so I'm going to just straighten those off and move them in to the side here. Maybe move the whole portion over. Something like that. Looks like these need to come back this way a little bit here. And I'm just going to hold down V and snap those down there for, oops, just for now. Because we do need to bring all these into the center. However, it does look like what we actually want is we want this to feed down and around, and then up and around here too. So we kind of need to retrace this kind of area. So let's go and take a line down here, and then down to the bottom here. So we want this to flow down here. So let's take oops, let's take this and we'll move, I'm selecting multiple. Okay, let's grab this again. So we want it to, essentially this to run down here, and then we want it also to run around here as well. So let's for now just grab a line and take it just to this top portion and run that up there. Okay. Take that there. Just make sure I'm not selecting things behind. Okay, so that's now running down and around. Let's bring a line. Let's bring a line here as well. I'll hit delete on those. Okay, that's looking okay. So if we hit on our mesh tools here, insert an edge loop, we can see that that's flowing all the way down and around. So that's what we want. I'm going to grab these vertices just here. We can curve that off. Okay, I'll bring that up. So that's looking quite good. This line here, I'm going to need to take that around there. We do have a little bit of a wiggly area here. Okay. That's fine. So then up here, we're going to want this as well to kind of run down and follow a similar kind of idea to what we have there. So let me think, let's throw an edge in here. I'm going to want to throw a couple of reserve lines just down here for now. Because obviously we want that to go around like so. I think I will have to merge these at this point in order to make this work. Something like that. Because we can't have this edge here. Let's see. Let's just maybe merge the two. So I'm going to combine. I think it was here. Grab all those. I think it was this one. Okay, it's going to be all good. I think all those have merged nicely. Let's just grab these one by one. Okay. So now we're all one complete shape. We'll also need to merge these down here. Let's do all those one by one just in case. Let's ditch this line. Holding Control and delete. And if we go up, let's ditch that line there and run it just here. Something like that. I think maybe what we'd want to do is emulate kind of what we have up here as well. So let's ditch that face and that one. That should work. And then I'm going to hit Control E to bring this in. Something like that. Let's lower it a little bit as well. And then we can bridge the gap here. Edit mesh and bridge, and then we'll just fill that hole with mesh. So that will allow this now. Let's just grab these, create a bit more space, just a little bit because we don't have too much on the example down here. And then our new line down here. We'll pull slightly in this direction. Which allows us now to curve that off just a little bit. Okay. And then I think what we can do with this, because these are going to be separated, probably next episode now. But this is going to be separated at about this point, so I'm just going to draw a line down here for now, and we'll maybe relocate that or do something with that at some point. I think maybe it's actually here. So it will be separated around that point, so that's not going to be a big deal. This is running around here, so that means that our lights can be extruded now from this. Maybe just ever such a slight gradient in on the scale, and then ever so slightly up here as well. Okay, so I think that's okay for now. Apologies, that probably was hard to follow due to the extrusions. I'll just go around the geometry a little bit here just so that you can see. In the next episode, what we'll probably do is we're not going to do the actual lights that are within here. We'll just fine tune this area a little bit using the views. All of these need to be snap center, so I'll probably just do that in between the video, just holding X to snap those all to the middle there, make sure they're all merged. In the next episode, what we'll do is we will do maybe the spoiler. It has got a reversing camera in that spoiler, I believe. And then hopefully if we have time, we'll think about the diffuser as well. Get that ready to be separated. And then I think for the base mesh, that'll be complete. And then we'll be good to actually start working our way around. So what I'll do is I'll just leave the camera around here for you guys to have a little look and a pause if you need to, just to get an idea of where that geometry is. Hopefully you managed to follow that okay. It's gone on a little bit longer than usual, so apologies for that. If you like the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up. If you don't, make sure you hit that thumbs down. Make sure you subscribe for more content too, and I will see you in the next one.